Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and my wife will not leave me alone about cleaning my office. I am about tired of listening to it, so I might break down and actually clean my office today. She keeps, I'll be sitting here trying to prepare a show for you guys, and she keeps walking in and saying, well, what do you think about this? Can this go to Goodwill? Can that, this is what I'm going through right now as the world turns. Now, somebody got a really good clip from Quincy. I don't know if those of you that remember Quincy. He's a very smart guy, developer. I think he's involved with XDC. But here he makes a really good comment on what's special about the XRP ledger.
A lot of the other things, there's a lot of overlap. And don't get me wrong, there's some things where it's not proof of stake or proof of work, but that's not what makes it special. That's what makes it maybe unique, not what's special. The two things that make it special is, one, the entire network is a DEX. What does that mean? It means anybody from their individual wallet can list an asset for sale into the DEX. You don't have to go to a DEX. You don't have to go to third. The entire network is a DEX. In that DEX is a liquidity routing algorithm that allows you to maximize liquidity between any asset that you, or maximize it automatically routes the asset to maximize liquidity. So the whole premise of this is no liquidity pools. There's an algorithm that keeps you, so any other exchange, any other DEX, any other everything has liquidity pools. XRP does not. It has an algorithm that maximizes liquidity by being able to route and liquidate the asset based on what's available on the network. Those are the two things that make XRP amazing. Now you can get into the speed, you can get into it's not proof of work, proof of stake, you can get into all that too. But those two things, the fact that the entire network's a DEX and there's an algorithm that maximizes liquidity on that DEX, is the two biggest things. And when people talk about cross-border remittances, currency, Nostro Vostro, that allows for the instant liquidity of any asset like it's cash. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely see what you mean.
Man, that guy's real smart. You can tell when he's talking that he's so smart that he's trapped in his own little world too. It's interesting. I like watching the demeanor of really smart people because it's really funny because, in fact, when I first met David Schwartz in Singapore, he was sitting there talking, and the second he started talking, I was like, wow, this guy, he assumed, he's so smart that he's talking the way he normally talks, and he thinks everybody's just following him because he's following himself, and it's just not so all the time. All right, now, when he did that little talk, it reminded me of this clip from Joe Endoso, the president of Link2, who is my sponsor, but this clip was going around today. This was after the resolution of the lawsuit, what Joe Endoso said.
You would expect large institutions, financial institutions, certainly like Bank of America, to transact. I think it was actually quite timely and maybe fully intended that Ripple created and introduced this liquidity hub product. Because what I'd be doing if I were in Ripple's shoes today is I'd be integrating liquidity hub into the RippleNet product. So every user of RippleNet, like Bank of America, would simply port into liquidity hub as the means of obtaining and managing that XRP position that they need to work through ODL. Right? Liquidity hub is just a massive smart router engine. It has feeds to accounts that Ripple has opened across all the liquidity venues around the world. Basically, virtually every exchange where there is depth of liquidity, it has accounts at. So if I'm Bank of America, I become a liquidity hub customer, and on any given moment, or where I need, pick a number, $1 billion worth of XRP to transact, I plug that into Liquidity Hub, and Liquidity Hub will break that $1 billion up into fractions and route them for execution and closing across all the exchanges to get the optimal average acquisition price for XRP. And then when I'm done using the XRP for ODL, I turn around and I go the opposite direction, and I have that same smart engine route my sell order and go back to cash. And that's what I want to do. Sell the XRP across all the venues to get the optimal price for Bank of America, right? And at no time do I ever have to be in a position where I'm actually taking XRP from Ripple itself. I'm doing it through all of these exchanges. And what Ripple will do in that instance is it'll be on an ongoing basis looking at the XRP available across all those exchanges worldwide and just distributing XRP through those exchanges. It will sell XRP into those exchanges to create supply.
How about that? And by the way, so it's pretty clear I'm an XRP holder, and I'm also buying Ripple. Right now I'm buying Ripple private equity and Circle private equity on the Link2 platform. Yesterday they had some, I think it was yesterday that I got my Circle. Yesterday, time flies. It was either yesterday or the day before when I was in the McDonald's drive-through line. Check it out, eGrag Crypto, XRP 500%. But that 500% surge, that's just the start. The chart below captures just a fraction of the massive surge that I believe marks the initial phase of our incredible journey forward. Show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. Here's something brewing that'll trigger 500% surge at precisely the right moment to propel us forward. He also has I guess he's saying it'll go to 500% up, which that's over what is that? I guess 500% would be here to $5 or so, and then it would crash down. I don't know if that's what he's saying or not, maybe. Anyway, I'll take 500% surge. I'll take a 7,000% surge. I'll take $5 or $10 XRP. I'll take any of those scenarios. Now, Charles Gasparino yesterday was like, he said, scoop BlackRock to cut 3% of its workforce as firm expects SEC approval for Bitcoin ETF on Wednesday. That's kind of weird. Why would you cut 3% of your workforce if you're ramping up this Bitcoin ETF that you plan to be so huge? Wait a minute. This guy says, hey, Charlie, is that written to insinuate correlation and or causation? It comes off that way. No, it doesn't. They're going to announce earnings, layoffs, and the ETF. Okay? This is interesting, folks. Right here. Jeremy Hogan, someone just sent Satoshi's Genesis wallet 1.2 million in Bitcoin. In other words, to the wallet that has not done anything since the creation of Bitcoin. But here's the interesting part. Well, that's crazy. That on the surface, that would sound crazy. Unless somebody did it to trigger something, folks. Jeremy Hogan says, why? The only thing that makes any sense is that the sender is flushing Satoshi out. Under the new IRS rules, which this passed like 2 days ago. Under the new IRS rules, you have to report any receipt of crypto over $10,000. So Satoshi has to dox himself or break the law. The amendments made by this section shall apply to returns required to be filed and statements required to be furnished after December 31st, 2023. Receive 10,000 or more in not XRP, but in crypto, and you've got to report it to the IRS. Then he goes on, but why almost 1.2 million? So it can be argued that he failed to notice the transfer. You might miss 0.2 Bitcoin, but over 26 Bitcoin, no way. Okay, it's not the best argument, but I'm intrigued. What the hell, as the kids would say. I'm intrigued too. You remember this? This is where Dan Pena said, if you knew who was behind Bitcoin, you'd run. This guy right here, look what he says. I'm telling you, digital asset investor, if you want to break the current financial system, let them load up on Bitcoin via ETF. When they're all in, you leak Satoshi and crash it. You blame crypto and bring in a new financial system. Watch what BlackRock's Aladdin does. Is this its plan? That's my question, folks. There's only been 1 or 2 or 3 people out here that have just been howling from the rooftops We know Homeland Security knows who the 4 Satoshis are. Why are they pretending like they don't? Why is the government on the whole pretending like they don't? Why did the SEC not officially, remember this, SEC and the CFTC have never come out and officially done anything that said they haven't passed any rules, nothing that says Bitcoin's a commodity. They've only just had random people in those agencies say that we think it's a commodity. They haven't done anything that would put them on the line, right? So why would the SEC or CFTC declare Bitcoin to be a commodity when they know who the 4 Satoshis are? And trust you me, they do know. We placed 2 to 3 SEC officials in the room when the Homeland Security agent was saying they met with the 4 Satoshis. You telling me that the SEC says, oh yeah, this is a commodity, when they know the identities of 4 people that created it? Not in this lifetime, folks. Gary's told us, if you have that central authority, it's over. Who's to say that those guys, the 4 Satoshis, aren't sitting on that wallet to dump it? Maybe that was the plan all along. Who's to say that those guys don't intend to make a massive profit? Who's to say that they weren't waiting for Bitcoin ETFs to really make their massive profit? Wouldn't that make it a security? Perianne Boring, she's getting kind of feisty. I like this. I agree that spot Bitcoin ETFs are inevitable, but let's not forget that Jay Clayton blocked spot Bitcoin ETFs during his tenure as SEC chair during the Trump administration. That is the fact, Jack. Now look at this. Jimmy Valley came to life the last couple of days. He says, no, this is about the coffee that Eleanor Terrett is going to have with Stephen Narioff. Stephen Narioff, do you have a kill switch in place, right? Not saying you need one, needed of course. I'm just one for redundancy. Stephen Narioff replies, he says, they know an accident would make it worse. I made that clear, and my reputation for preparation as well as established recording legally certain conversations is an example. Amazingly, most of my data was deleted. Fortunately, I had copies in multiple other places and countries. Man, there's got to be some people out there freaking out over this guy. Now, I'm going to finish here. This guy says Coinbase is the gold standard in custody services for Bitcoin ETFs, with the lion's share of these applicants placing their trust in them. Very impressive. Well, what's not being said here, folks, is that there is another. I'm going to talk about the other when we first go into the group here. The group knows, but the other that nobody's paying attention to is what I'm going to talk about in DAIXRP.com. But we're also, here's what else we're going to talk about. I believe that one of the sleuths brought to the surface maybe something that guys like me had kind of missed back in the day when we were talking about all this. Maybe because I was just worn out from uncovering ETHgate, I don't know. But in the last 24 or 48 hours, one of the sleuths, I don't know if he was resurfacing or if he just found something, which I believe ties all of it together. All the money laundering, all the bad stuff, the child trafficking, all the stuff. Okay, we won't go into that anymore here. But I believe that it's the biggest ETHgate find that there is, because I think it really takes it all the way back to who's the origin of all this stuff. Okay, this ETHgate and all the bad stuff going on around it. I think that it was found. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. They might want to check out DAIXRP.com, because I think the best find around ETHgate was found yesterday, or resurfaced, either way. I don't ever know who found it first and all that. So here we go.